Ever wondered how to get the press to notice all the good work that you're doing? Hi, I'm Natalie Lucier, and you're watching Off the Charts, where we help you reimagine what's possible in your business. And, by the way, I'm your business strategist and digital visionary. In this episode, we're talking about the press, how it works, how to get more of it, and how to make the most of it. The press and most of the places that you want to be featured in are actually in the content business. So they're constantly needing to come up with new content, stories, or articles to cover that are fresh and relevant. The more that you can put yourself into the shoes of the people who create and curate this content, the easier it will be for you to land it. So here's my approach to getting press and making the most out of it. Number 1, identify the places that you want to be featured. Just like with guest blogging, you need to know where you want to be published. So find out where your ideal clients are currently spending their time when it comes to magazines, publications, or even TV shows. You can even rate all of the different places that you want to be featured at based on how much of a game changer they would be in your business. So for example, if they're a small publication and the market fit isn't quite right, you might put them at the bottom or the middle of your list, but if it sounds glamorous and it's also a perfect audience match, then put it at the top. Number 2, research their editorial policies, find out who their writers and editors are, and get clear on your game plan. Different outlets have different ways of sourcing their content. If you want to go on a TV show, you might need to get in touch with a producer to get your story told. If it's a magazine or a written publication, you might need to submit to an editor. Still, other places might not accept solicitations directly, so it might be better to form a relationship with a regular contributor. That brings us to number 3, forming relationships before you need them. So you might hear this all the time, but what it really comes down to is getting to know people who could potentially land coverage for you in the future, but just forming a great relationship without expectations up front and just being really useful right away. My friend Selena Soo talks about that in another episode from Off the Charts, so definitely go ahead and watch that one. Number 4, come up with a newsworthy angle or something fresh to be covered. When you feel like you're ready to go for it, it's time to put on your thinking cap and come up with a fresh new angle to be covered. In my experience, producers and writers are looking for something that will fit into an existing story that they're already working on. So the more that you can fit into a trend piece or something that's really relevant and hot right now, the more likely you are to be featured. Number 5, submit your work and follow up. It's time to write your article or submit some great content in response to some questions you were asked, and then get ready to follow up. If you're writing for a publication, they'll usually have guidelines for how long you can expect to wait before you hear back from them. In the television business, things move really quickly, so be sure to be available if there's a change to a schedule or if they need extra information from you. And sometimes you have more general news that you want to publicize about your company, and that's when you'd write a press release that gets distributed across different networks and wires on the web. And these can also get picked up by other news outlets and lead to more future opportunities or interviews. Number 7, publicize your press and repeat. Finally, once you've got your article published, you've been quoted somewhere, or your snippet on the news airs, it's time to celebrate. It's also time to make the most of the press that you just received. I know that most of us imagine that once we get our business mentioned in a big magazine or on TV, that our business is set for life. But the truth of the matter is that just because somebody sees you on a morning show, they're not necessarily going to go to their computer and type up your website. Now that doesn't mean that press is useless, it just means that you tend to get most of the benefits of press by actually publicizing that you've been in the news. You get to lovingly brag about all the places that you've been featured all across social media, your press page and homepage, and also in your newsletter. So if you've been featured, it's time to add a new logo to your As Seen In section on your website and proudly share it with the world. After all, if you've been featured in the mainstream media, it gives you more legitimacy. It also inspires more trust with people who just land on your website and who don't know you from Adam. And from there, it's just time to rinse and repeat. Go out and get even more press. Now I want to know what kinds of press have worked the best for you. Leave your tips and your own tricks in the comments below so that we can all learn from each other on what press is working right now and how it's making an impact in our business. If you enjoyed this video all about getting more press and making the most of it, make sure to give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and also make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss any upcoming episodes. You'll also want to make sure not to miss the free 30-day list building challenge. It's happening right now. Just go to 30daylistbuildingchallenge.com to find out how you can grow your list more in the next 30 days than you have in the last 3 months. And it's free.